Morning all, Neil Clark of Falkirk Piping. I've been asked several times over the years to do a video explaining how you can circular breathe, that is, to continue to play the chanter breathing through the nose and not pausing the chanter so you don't lose any notes or any time. Let me demonstrate first. Now, I actually inhaled twice there through my nose and exhaled through the chanter. What I have to say first of all is the first couple of times I was asked to do a video on circular breathing, I refused because the bottom line is you don't need to do circular breathing. If you're just practicing yourself, then having a little gap doesn't really make any difference. I've also heard a rumour that it doesn't allow the lungs to empty properly. That may or may not be true. However, lots of you want to do circular breathing. The advantages are the tune keeps going without a pause, which you would do in the bagpipes. After a while it becomes entirely natural, but I have to put this rider on to say you do not have to circular breathe. It's an advantage for me because I'm demonstrating tunes on the YouTube videos all the time, and it means that you're not going to miss any part of that tune. So going back to how do we circular breathe, the first thing that you will need is an efficient chanter. If the chanter is losing air or it's taking too much air, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to circular breathe. It's going to be a lot more difficult to play the chanter anyway. So make sure your chanter's maintained properly, make sure your reed's not too strong. The actual concept of circular breathing in itself is very, very simple. Instead of pausing to take a breath somewhere in the tune, we breathe in through the nose, keeping a reservoir of air in your mouth to keep the chanter going to allow that to happen. What I would suggest doing in the first instance is just perhaps playing low A on the chanter and trying this out. Now you don't need a massive big amount of air in your cheeks. But you need sufficient to allow you to breathe naturally, and that's the key. Please breathe naturally. The other tendency to do when you first start to do this is to circular breathe in time with the tune that you're playing. Now you don't do that on pipes, so there's no need to do that on the practice chanter either. The object is to breathe normally, just as you would in pipes. Let's have a look at what we're doing, just playing low A, so we don't have to concentrate on any tune. Now, again, I inhaled twice there through the nose. When you're actually thinking about it, it's much harder to do, and you might well have detected a change in tone on the low A. Don't forget that when you are playing a tune, you're much more unlikely to actually hear that change in tone. It will become very natural very quickly. Let's have a look at, now also, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't think there was any real swelling up of my cheeks there. You don't have to look like a bullfrog, just sufficient to keep the chanter going. Let's have a look at doing it in a tune now. Now, I don't know what my facial expressions ended up like there. Hopefully you didn't see any great dramatic swelling of the face every time I used the reservoir in my mouth here. Just to go over stuff I've already said, it works best with an easy reed. If you have a hard reed, then you're going to have a large reservoir of air in your mouth to keep it going while you breathe in and take your next breath. Please breathe as normally as you can when you're doing this. So to recoup, it's very difficult to tell you about it while I'm doing it, but you're blowing the chanter. You will come to a point where you would naturally breathe. You will continue to blow using the air remaining in the mouth and breathe in through the nose, taking a fresh lungful of air. You will then breathe using your lungs again rather than the air that's in your mouth. I hope that explains it. There's not really an awful lot to it. Again, just start rider. There is no need for 90% of pipers to learn to circular breathe on the practice chanter. It's just not necessary. The only thing it might do is it might save you a few £100 on the latest set of practice pipes or whatever it is that's marketed at the time. Other than that, carry on as normal. I hope that's explained it for you, and happy piping.